Hello and welcome back. If you're new to my channel, I'm Deirdre, and today I'm finally, and yes I accept it's late, setting up my 2019 bullet journal. I haven't changed anything up very much. I've left out some things. There's always room to add, which is the great thing about the bullet journal, is it gives you complete flexibility about how you decide you want your planet to look and to function. Now, before we get into it, please remember I am not an artist, therefore I don't even try. Mine is very simple, it's plain, it's just about function for me. It's all about how it works for me, and I hope that that gives you some ideas of how you might like to set up yours, or if you'd just like to have a very simple one, the sorts of things you might like to include, or you might have wonderful creative and artistic ability and you may want to do one of those beautiful ones. There are so many highly creative people. Instead of that, I stick to plain, and I just stick to doing what I know works for me. I do think that having a bullet journal where you basically dump everything out of your head onto a structured page is, for me anyway, a real stress reducer. It just means I don't have to think, I just look straight at my page, bang, you know, this is where I want to be, this is where what I need to get done, and it doesn't take the place of some other types of journaling, but it certainly runs my days, you know, day by day, week by week, and month by month. I'd love you to subscribe and follow along. On the 3rd of January I'll do how I set my goals for the year, so if you're interested in that, then please subscribe and click that notification bell so that you'll know when I've uploaded the video. Right, let's get into it. And here it is, my brand new bullet journal. I finally, thanks to one of my wonderful subscribers who's local, managed to find a replacement for my previous year. Note the change in the washi tape, which is the only thing that tells me one from another. And this wonderful one went for the entire year. I think I've ended up with 18 odd pages that I haven't used out of the 192. So I'm happy with that. I will use those when I do my plan with me video, so that will get completely filled up. I do like that feeling of using an entire bullet journal. Now what it is this. It's the, oops, come on focus, there we go. It's the Moleskine Classic Collection soft cover, because I like that. It's, I don't know, it's lighter, I can put it in my bag, that's what it's all about. And yes, it has 192 lined pages, Moleskine. It's slightly smaller than an A5. I've been saying it's an A5, it's not. It's slightly smaller, slightly narrower than an A5, which to me makes it perfect because it fits in my bag and I don't have to think about it. And that's, as I say, some of that's because it's the soft cover and some of it's the size, and it fits 2/4. So basically two of these. There's my new one, there's my one I'm about to write in, here's the one I will open in July. So I'm happy with that. Okay, let's do it. First page, as always, I haven't done it, but I will put my first name and phone number in here. I don't like to do much else. And here we are, the title page. It's very plain, as I say. I just put the what year it is and the fact that it's the 1st and 2nd quarter. Now on this side I have put my key. Now this is the key I've used pretty much forever. It's a fairly standard bullet journal key. It's a dot for the task, a line through it when it's partially completed, a cross right through it when it is completed, an arrow to the right to show you've migrated it forward, or an arrow going the other way, it says it's been delegated, a line through the whole thing if you've just simply cancelled it, a square for a work task, and colour those in when they're completed. I do like that feeling. And basically an asterisk for an important task. I'm not going to complicate it with anything more than that. And after the key I go straight into the index, and I've just highlighted it with a pastel pink just to break up visually the look of it. I've got 2 pages for index. Oh look, I barely use it. I'm not even sure if I'll bother, but for this I put it in up to the beginning of January. We'll see how I go. Then the next page is my 2019 goals. There are 5 of them. I haven't filled them in yet. I'll do that when I talk to you about goal setting on the 3rd of January. But to give you a hint, I never set a goal without saying, okay, what it is, why I'm doing it, and how I'm going to get it done. and I've just put it into these hexagons, which I can use a stencil for, simply because it breaks it up a little bit, and these have to last for the whole year, though it'd be nice if I got some of them done by the end of the second quarter, and then for my next book I could actually have some new ones, and that would be fun too. But right now I'm saying five major goals, so we'll talk about that on the 3rd. Then here I have just photocopied and put in a year at a glance, just because it's easy. Now, something that's new for me, well actually that was new for me, and I've always had goals, but I haven't set them out like that, so I think that gives me a nice clear sort of view of my goals. Here, that was new. I haven't had a year at a glance before. I haven't bothered with it. I think I can always look it up on my, on my phone or whatever, but it's handy having it there. Then I have included for the first time a future log. Now obviously for January I will be able to put straight into my January pages, but for the rest of the year what I'll do is put down things that I have to remember to transfer into that month when I get to setting up that month. Things that I need to do and I need to keep a record of, and they get transferred into the January one in a moment, and February when I draw that up. Haha, here's my book list all set up, ready for the first 2 quarters. I've been very ambitious, and oops, there we go, you're not quite in, but I've given myself 40, and I put a slight highlight through the area where I'll write the title. Nothing fancy, just breaks the page up a little bit, makes it easier for me to see, if anything. Then I've got a video plan at a glance, the same way that I've got my future log. I've just done this, so for January, for example, I've already got in my goal setting for 2019, and the plan with me for February is on the 24th, so, and the same throughout the year, and I'll just add them in as they become more concrete. This will just keep me focused. There is an area for some notes at the bottom. I didn't want to crowd it, I didn't want to make it any more complex than it needed to be. Now this is also something new, and I haven't drawn it up properly yet, but what I want to do is to print off tiny photos for each month as I go through the year. Well, I can grab something off Instagram that I really liked, or a family snap. I think that would be fun. That's just 6 gaps for 6 small photos. I can print them myself. I have a small printer, a small photo printer, and I will do that. That's fun. Now this is something also that's new, that I want to do the 12 habits in 12 months, and quite a lot of people do this, and I think it's a wonderful idea. So I've just put here, each month try 1 new behaviour, just 1 new one each month, so 30 days approximately of a new behaviour, and if it feels right, keep doing it, and if not, just let it go. You know, the old Elsa thing, let it go. If it doesn't gel with you and it's not vital, like cleaning your teeth or something, I mean, I suspect that most people I'm speaking to will every day clean their teeth, so that's not what it's about. For me, it's about things that I need to do. I'll give them 30 days and lock them in, because they say that if you do something for about 20 days it becomes a bit of a habit. I'm not convinced. I think it takes longer. I also think that it needs to be an action type thing. In this case I've said January, I will not be eating unless I am sitting at the table. And I don't care if it's a snack. Well, alright, having a biscuit with a friend while we're sitting comfortably having a cup of tea or coffee, I'll let that one slide. But anything other than that, a meal or a snack, I will sit at the table. And I think that's sort of part of mindful thinking, or being more attuned to what you're doing and intentional. And I think that is a really important thing for me. The other thing I put in here, and I've just put them in pencil so I can change them, move them around at the moment, meal plan and shop with a list. Find ways to reduce waste. Now I know that the way that I live, because I'm in an apartment, I can't reduce waste completely, unfortunately, because we don't at the moment have a way of getting rid of things like kitchen scraps. Now I will work on trying to find a way of doing that, but that's in for the March one. I really would like to reduce my waste, and that is about that is a lot of it's to do with intentional shopping, which sort of comes back to this one as well. Here's the big one. April, I want to try and limit my time online to 2 hours a day. I know it sounds like a lot of time, but you know how easy it is to flick onto YouTube and watch a video and that's 30 minutes gone. And then there's flicking through Instagram, and then there's searching for something and getting sidetracked from that. Maybe I should say limit unintentional online or non-productive online to 2 hours a day, because I do a lot of research online as well, so that may have, maybe I'll put unintentional rather. That would make more sense for me, because that way I can still do research outside of those 2 hours. May, I decided I will use public transport whenever possible, and it's often possible. So if I'm going into the city or just up a couple of stations, then I'll just jump on and off the train. It's quick, it's easy, and it will be good. It'll be good for me because it'll make me walk more, and it will also save on my fuel, and it's a good thing to do for the environment. But just generally, I think it would be quite fun, and I can explore all the stations along the way, do shopping at each of the local stations. That actually might be quite fun, because each station has a small shopping centre, and some of them are the most interesting. So there we are, I got down to May anyway, so I'd like to hear anything that you've thought of that would work in here, and whether you think this will be a good thing to try. And that actually is the end, as you can see, because there's January, of what is going to be the beginning and the ones that I keep going right through the year. So it's very simple, there's not a lot in there. So then we get to January. I've just put the actual little calendar of January down here. I'm sorry, I really do need to learn how to letter a little better, so that when I do a facing page, it does look better. But anyway, it's okay for now. Also, I got a lot of bleed through here, so I had to use the white tape to do it. So I'll have to think about that. I don't like bleed through on my pages, it really makes me upset, and the Moleskine in general is pretty good. So here, my January straight calendar, the way I do it, I still like this. I think it works really well for me. It gives me the day and the date, and it gives me room to write in what I'm doing. And I've just put a slight pink highlight for the Saturdays and dotted it just to clearly set out, week 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. It's just a way for me of making sure that my eye tracks through the weeks much more easily. It's all about making it functional and simple. I've got a page for January notes and things, that always fills up. I've used my same way of doing habit tracking that I have for the last few bullet journals, though I did fall off quite badly in December, but it's basically the same. I've just got these little dot grids that I print out and fill in the calendar. So here are my habits that I'm tracking in January. These are the ones that are important and that I need to keep focused on. Ooh, I just heard a thunder, or maybe it's a plane. Anyway, it's been very hot here, sorry, so I've got the windows open because it's a cooler day. Right, so my tracking is for water, my yoga stretch in the morning, which is a good thing to do. Just 2 or 3 of my exercises, the yoga / Pilates, that is good to loosen up in the morning before I start my day. I have my super drink here. Now sometimes I'll have that in the morning, sometimes I'll have it in the evening. It doesn't really matter. And if I have that, I know I've hit most of my vitamin and mineral protein needs for the day. And anything else is a bonus. Clean eating, which sort of goes with that, but you all know what clean eating means. That's super important, and I just have to make it a priority. Walking, going to the gym, not necessarily, I've put gym, but it may mean doing a quick workout at home. It may mean walking up to the gym and doing a workout there. It may mean walking up to the gym and having a swim, but it just means that every day I'm doing something, other than a walk, which is always nice. Then over here, these are the sort of more business related things. I've got my YouTube, try to get more Instagram done. Sorry, noisy people here at the moment. This is my 90 times 4, and I will talk more about this in planning for 2019. But this is a really good way of keeping focused so that you can really just knock over a few tasks. So it's 90 minutes times 4 per day, which means sort of 6 hours of really intentional doing things. Now, I don't mean that it's sitting down and working. I mean, it may be, but it may also be painting a room. It may be reading a book. It can be anything, but it's a solid 90 minutes at a time. And that's the way you get things done. Up by 6, that was a good one. And it really, I do feel better if I get up early. Though today, I must admit, I had a bit of a sleep in. I think I've got, Christmasitis. I'm getting over Christmas. This is my plants, watering my plants, and just generally indoor and out, so taking care of those and checking off that I've done a part of my zone cleaning so that my house stays tidy. Okay, January, content creation. So I've got the mark on the I've got this one on what are we doing. Hang on, where is it? Right back here for the year. I've got that, the one at a glance, and this is the per month. So I've got the goal setting that I'll do on Thursday. I've put little dots where I would like to be doing a YouTube upload on those days or publish. I've got some Instagram here, and this is my way of doing it, which is the P for plan, F for film, E for edit, M for metadata, and it means all the tags and everything like that, and P for publish, which obviously also means upload, publish, and sort of do a wee bit of you know, spreading the word. And IG for Instagram. So nice to jot those down. Here's January goals. Another room for January goals, more specific ones than the earlier ones, and I'll think about how I'm going to do that. And with that, I'm into my January daily log. Now, as you know, if you've seen me before, I have a thing about where each day sits on the page. So for me, Saturday and Sunday are up here. That's apparently because I'm down under. Don't worry, it's a joke with one of my subs who thought it was a perfectly reasonable way of doing it, because you can have these 2 nice days of the week to start your week through, and then you can get into the rest of your week and end it on a Friday and turn over to a nice Saturday and Sunday, which is also why I have little greeny dots here, because I don't want the things that I'm doing to be related to the squares that I put down for work. These are what I'm going to do. Like, might be walk up to the farmer's market and do some farmer's market shopping. And that's a nice thing. It might be visiting my grandbaby. It might be going to lunch with a friend. You just these are nice things that you do on the weekends. And then I set it out, and I always note what zone I'm doing. And that is about it. So I always, as the time comes around, I put in the sunrise and sunset. I am now don't have to fuss too much because I have my new toy, which is my Apple Watch, which is just fantastic. That's a new toy for Christmas. I love gadgets. Look at this beautiful gadget. Oh, it's so wonderful, and I can do things, and I can even find my phone. Oh, ping! Here we are. It finds my phone when I put it down somewhere. I mean, it does the normal find your phone, but it also pings my phone when I've left it in the bedroom or in the bathroom or something. I can go, oh look, there we are. I can tell what the weather is, not just the weather, but I can see whether it's if it's raining, what it's going to be like. Oh, all these wonderful things that I can do. I just love it. It's the most wonderful toy. I then have my room for my monthly weekly reviews. It's week by week through the month. I will put in week 1, healthy eating, how did I go, exercise and sleep, how did I go, and productivity. That's that 90 by 4, how did I go, and any comments I'd like to make about making it better for the next week. And then at the end of the month, I can then switch over to this page, which is my month in focus, and say what were my top 3 accomplishments, my goals for February, and changes to make in the environment. And these are ones that I've just put in as examples. And then I've got this new way of doing my planning for the month. I'm not sure if it really belongs in here or not, but I decided to try it. I'll say what my project is. So project 1, these will be the milestones that project 1 will require, and then the key tasks that are within these. So a key task that I would be doing for first milestone for that project, I'll put that in when I need to get it done by. This is me making my own decisions, of course, but keeping myself honest, how long it will take, and what percentage of the task have I got through. And there it is. I've got this whole shiny new one to go. I like these. I think it's I can draw up whatever I like, whatever I see as somebody's clever idea. I can you know, take some inspiration from that and go with it, and I'm really pleased. I just can't imagine myself not having one of these now, and I'll let you know how these go and show you my little pictures as we go through the year, which will be quite fun, couldn't it? Yeah, so I think overall the things that I've included that I really like, I like this page. I think that's great, it's going to work well. I like having a future log. I think that is going to make a difference. I don't have to worry that I've noted it somewhere else, that I have, for example, a hospital visit. I don't have to note it. I don't have to keep that in my head. Oh, where is it? And remember to go through. I can just flick back onto here and transfer it straight away into, for example, for January. I can go through and put down. I put it down for the 16th. What's CBC? which means complete blood count, and I'll do that, and I'll also note that it's a fasting. Having said that, I'm a wee bit smug about my blood sugar levels are nice and exactly where they're meant to be. I'm really proud of that. It's one of those things that you don't want it too low and you don't want it too high, and mine is spot on where it needs to be. So this is a good thing for me to include, that I've included for the first time. You know how much I loved this. Small brag here. Where is it? Right back at the beginning of my old one. Ta-da! Look at that. I got down to number 40, so I read 40 books. Some of them really good, mind-expanding, good information type books, and some of them just really good yarns. So I have enjoyed that a lot, and I've gone from not reading much right back to reading a lot again. And I have no idea why my camera switched off, but before I was so rudely interrupted, I was just saying that it might be something that I could include my favourite podcasts or new podcasts I'm trying out. Maybe I could include that, because that's a really interesting thing to do, and there's so many really good ones. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that, and I'll put them down. Right, that's it for the bullet journal setup for 2019 and also for January. And I hope that I will see you in January on the 3rd to talk about goal setting and how I go about goal setting and what's my process for setting things up and what's the sort of the why behind it. And then I would get to be able to fill these in, which will be 5 bigger goals for 2019. I hope that you will join me then, so subscribe if you're interested, and give me a thumbs up if that's the sort of thing you're interested in. And I hope that whatever you're doing, that you're having a lovely day, and I will see you on January 3rd, if not before. Thanks for watching.